And 2012, I believe, the best kept secret,
Yeah,
your project,
yeah.
and on your third project. What was the reason behind you naming it that? Did you feel like you wasn't getting the recognition for the work you put in up until that point?
Yeah, I felt like when I started doing music, like I already had money. I had jewelry, the cars, I had everything. I had women. I was
Mm,
having my way. So I don't know. I felt like that shit was kind of getting in the way of niggas supporting that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because they felt
yeah,
like, damn, what we got to support this nigga for? This nigga already got money.
right.
You feel what I'm saying? Sometimes that'll get in the way of a nigga supporting sometimes. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's why I named it that. And at that time, I think Best Kept Secret was one of the biggest marketing campaigns I had. At this time, Chanel Dominique was my manager, which is Vez manager right now.
Yeah, I was gonna get into that
Yeah,
too.
and we had a hell of a run with that CD, dog, and we made a motherfucking stamp with that CD. I ain't gonna even lie. That CD right there made a big motherfucking statement right there, and there was some bangers on that bitch too. And a hell of a produced the whole Best Kept Secret too. He produced the whole Best Kept Secret.
Yeah, you and Helly, I noticed that y'all was locked in heavy, like you
Yeah,
said.
yeah, yeah,
Y'all was locked in
yeah,
pretty heavy, man.
yeah. And
Hella
that's when he
good
had the
joint.
studio on Michigan too, man. So it was a different kind of vibe in that motherfucker, man. You
I
would
done
work.
heard about that a couple
Oh
times, like people in
man,
reference
dog.
to it.
Man, listen, man. That studio over there on Michigan, dog, up them stairs, bro. The vibe of that motherfucker, you just never know who you might run into in that bitch. And when you go to that motherfucker, you might fuck around and run into a nigga. Y'all might have a whole CD tucked. I got so much music, bro. It's crazy. Like from then. Not even the
Mm,
music I done made recently, but then I got so much music with goddamn everybody, bro. Like it ain't one person you can name that I probably don't got a song with.
yeah, I definitely done heard stories about that
Yeah.
studio, man. So on the same project, you ended up having what most would consider your first buzzing single, "Slipping,"
Slapping, yeah.
slapping. My
Yeah,
bad,
slapping,
my
yeah.
bad.
No, you good,
Yeah, how
slapping.
did that song come together, and how did it feel to finally have a record that that hit?
Well, I'm gonna tell you how that song came about. I'm gonna tell you how that song came about. I'm gonna tell niggas the secret. What happened with that song? So, Future had a song out called Tony Montana.
Yeah, I
You
remember.
remember that, right? So if you listen to Slapping, um, it got that same vibe.
I do hear it now.
Yeah. So when I went in the studio, I remember this shit so vividly. And this when I knew like sometime I can't have people in the studio with me when I do my song process because niggas will throw you off and fuck you up.
Yeah.
I told Helly like I want something like this, just like this. Ironically, no bullshit. Ironically, this nigga had a beat already with this same motherfucking bass line shit like that. So he ended up finishing it right.
Hmm.
Going that motherfucking recorder. I'm talking about when I tell you I'm geeked about this record, nigga. This shit so hard. I walk out the booth, with my brothers and them say, "Oh, nigga, everybody in the studio, not just my brothers. Some other niggas was in that bitch. They was like, I don't know, bro. I don't even think that's you. Like, I don't know, right? So I'm like, yeah, fuck it, whatever. I leave, say fuck the song. Hell of a end up mixing the motherfucker, putting drops in that bitch, all that bitch, and resent it to me. One day I remember that I was in the hood. I had a Magnum and shit. I had crazy sounds in that bitch, high tweeters, all that shit. And I remember pulling up, banging that bitch. Every nigga at the same time said, "What the fuck is that?"
Hmm.
I said, "This the same song I recorded while all y'all was in the studio." They was like, "No, it can't be." I was like, "This it." When I tell you, nigga, that bitch took off. I'm about talking about took off everywhere. Like I had niggas wanting to do the remix to this bitch. Like different industry niggas wanted to
Hmm.
do remixes to this shit and all this different kind of shit. But I never got around to the shit because personal shit happened in the streets, whatever, whatever. But I never got around to that shit. But that bitch right there took the fuck off, dog. I'm talking about that bitch was everywhere. That bitch had Atlanta going. That bitch had Kentucky going, Tennessee, all through the Midwest. That bitch was going crazy.
Yeah, that was the first time I heard about you. I wasn't familiar with your face, but
Yeah,
like the first time I heard your music, I
yeah,
didn't even know it was like you, like
yeah,
Sino.
yeah,
I didn't even know it was you. I just
yeah.
remember hearing that record. It was buzzing around here.
And I don't think like at that time, like I had to end up doing a video tour, but I don't think at that time, like the only time niggas would see me was if I was in the club because I wasn't really doing videos and shit. Videos
Hmm.
wasn't popular as they was now.
Yeah,
You feel what I'm saying? So I don't think like niggas really was putting that with my face unless they knew it. And like even when it was on the radio, niggas thought it was like an industry nigga until they found out like what the fuck when I started doing interviews like yeah woo 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 woo. And it was like damn nigga that bitch right there crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you was excited about it, but did you honestly know it was gonna be as big as it was?
Absolutely not.
You didn't.
Nah, nah.
Yeah,
It
you
ain't, it
can't
ain't a
really.
lot of it ain't a lot of records that I knew. I knew a few records that was gonna be that, but that ain't one of them I thought was gonna be that. I just knew I liked the Tony Montana record and I want to rap on something like that, and that's what it ended up being.
Yeah. How did it change your outlook on the whole music stuff?
Um, like this shit was just like it was obtainable, like it could happen. You feel what I'm saying? I remember going down to remember going down to Patchworks, mix and mastering it and shit. And I remember like a lot of different Atlanta rappers was in that bitch, and every time they passed by, nigga hear that bitch and would be like, damn, I fuck with that whoopty whoop. And like it was like niggas was genuinely fucking with that bitch without money, without me having to ask a nigga or talk to a nigga, make a nigga fuck with it. Niggas was just fucking with that bitch genuinely. So I just knew like this shit was obtainable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll definitely change your whole outlook once you
Nah, for
get one of
real.
them ones that everybody talking about.
Facts.
Okay, and some new features on here that stick out to me are Payroll
Hmm.
and Peezy. First, I want to talk about your relationship with Payroll.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, like I said, I wasn't when I heard the Slapping record,
Hmm.
I didn't know who you was. I couldn't put a face to it, a name to it at all.
Right.
But I remember seeing Payroll, you know, rocking with you kind of heavy. You know, he put me
Yeah.
on to you. So uh talk to me, you know, about y'all relationship, how that is.
Okay, well Pay younger than me and Pay we both from Finkel, but he down my Cooley, you know what I'm saying? And I'm down towards Wyoming and shit. But Pay I always respected Pay, man, because one thing about Pay, he always was doing this music shit, getting to the money, man, and staying out the way. Like I
Mm-hmm.
felt that was something that I always did. You know what I'm saying? I go out party, have fun, do all that shit, but I'm trying to get to the money. I ain't got time for none of that other shit, no beef or shit, and all the stupid shit. And I always respected that about Pay. And that nigga always like made music for the bosses, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Motivational shit. You know what I'm saying? Shit that niggas can respect. And I got bad respect for Pay, dog. Like Pay a
Yeah,
good nigga.
I like Pay a
Yeah,
lot,
Pay a
man.
good nigga, man. I call Pay for anything, dog, and he gonna come fuck with me, dog. It ain't never been a time I call Pay for anything and that nigga ain't came through. So I got mad love and respect for Pay, dog. Shout
Yeah.
out to my nigga for real.
Did you know he would go on to be as big as he is today?
I knew he had the potential to do that shit, man, because he was just a good nigga. Like good niggas, you
Mm-hmm.
gonna win. Like he just
Yeah.
he just naturally a good, genuine nigga. You feel what I'm saying? And I just knew like he was gonna be something because he just had it. He's just like a mentality and like a stigma he had, dog. Just boss mentality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right, and Peezy at that time, he and Team Eastside had already made a name for themselves in the Midwest, but they were still coming up. How did the relationship with y'all come about, and what it was like working with him that early on in his career?
My first record was with Peezy and T Dot. I called Hell of and told him like I want Peezy, dog. That nigga hot. He was like, I call Peezy, you know what I'm saying? He ended up telling me a price, but after he got to the studio, we met each other and we did the record. He ain't ask for no money. He ain't want the money.
He was feeling it like
He was
that.
feeling it, and you know what I'm saying. He was just, I guess, you know what I'm saying. Niggas was, I was just a genuine nigga, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
And he didn't even want the money, you know what I'm saying. And I respected that. Like I fucked with that. And ever since then, me and Peezy had a good relationship. Anytime I see Peezy, you know what I'm saying, it's love. Like I don't give a fuck if I don't see Peezy for 2 years. If I
mm-hmm.
see that nigga, it's love. Like anything, like whatever I need.
So how did it make you feel, you know, watching him achieve all the success and bloom into the rising star he is in the music industry today?
He deserved it. I feel that he deserved it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Him, Team Eastside, like Ray, GT, you know what I'm saying, Vez, all them niggas like
Yeah,
worked hard, man. I watched them niggas grind, man. Them niggas deserve it. Studio rats. Like doing whatever it take, man, to make that shit happen, man. So I really respect it. You know what I'm saying? I love
yeah,
it. I love to see it. I ain't gonna lie. I
yeah.
love everything
Everybody
about it.
on, man.
I love everything
They
about it.
whole camp, man. They stayed down.
Stay down till they came up.
Yeah, yeah, and it's paying off, man. And they really like new artists to the world
Nah,
right now.
for real. And them niggas, they holding it down. They holding it down for the city and the east side. I ain't gonna lie, for real.